you back to 2010 to the Big Brother house. So you should have heard, and you should recognise that that is Nikki Graham. She was a famed TV personality from Big Brother. What was less known about her was her lifelong battle with anorexia. Nikki Graham was first diagnosed when she was just 8 years old and first hospitalised by 9. She struggled on and off throughout her whole life, and sadly when lockdown happened last year, she relapsed. Nikki Graham died at the age of 38 from anorexia. Did you know that the number of people in the UK affected by a mental health condition every single year is around 16.6 million people? Now, you can be diagnosed with many different mental health conditions, but the deadliest in the UK are actually eating disorders. They affect around 5% of our population, which in Atos UK&I terms is 500 employees. So this brings me to my digital dream. I thought about doing a big topic like space exploration, but the world's richest companies and billionaires are already pouring money into it, and we're all talking about it already. So instead I decided to focus on something that's all around us and growing, but it lacks that sexy focus, and that is mental health. I'm going to use this talk to raise the profile of mental health as an issue that technology should absolutely be identifying, treating, and even curing. I want all of you listening today to leave this talk wanting to make Atos the next leader in mental health technology solutions, just like we are with decarbonisation. And I'm going to use eating disorders as one example of the many mental health conditions that we should be treating so that we can prevent another story like Nikki's. Before I begin, I should just add, I'm not trained in mental health, I'm just passionate about the topic, but I will cover professional resources towards the end of my talk. So what is an eating disorder? It's a mental health condition where the individual will use eating behaviour and exercise to cope with their emotions and their feelings. This can affect their psychological, social and physical function, and they come in many forms. The most common are those displayed on my slide in order of their prevalence. As I said, towards the end of my talk, I'll cover some professional resources, and I really would urge you to take the time to look into it because it's a very pressing matter. One of the biggest misconceptions about eating disorders is that many people think that they are a visible condition. They're not. Whilst it is true that some sufferers of anorexia might be very slim, some aren't. And as you can see from my slide, the majority of people with an eating disorder don't have anorexia. Most people will be within a normal to overweight weight range, but they're at much higher risk of medical complications associated with their illness, and they're also at high risk of suicide. So how serious are they? Frankly, I don't think it should take my example of Nikki Graham to articulate how serious a problem this is. We should all know that already. This is the deadliest of all psychiatric conditions in the UK, and they are increasing at a terrifying rate across all age groups and genders, and in other countries as well. It's now recorded that the age range for the onset of an eating disorder is as broad as 6 to 70 years old. In the last 2 years alone, hospital admissions for children diagnosed with an eating disorder rose by 19%. The number of men affected by an eating disorder has risen by a staggering 70% in just the last 6 years. And for me, one of the most heartbreaking statistics that I found was that of those that survive, only 50% of people will recover. 30% will just improve, and 20% of sufferers will remain chronically ill for life. Look at those statistics. Can you imagine the coverage this issue would get were it actually visible? So I think there are some obvious tech triggers. If you feel pressure to look a certain way, our dating apps are now predominantly based on appearance. We have global influencers who are paid to be beautiful, and their edited images pop up on a 24-hour curated feed. the algorithms that curate these feeds. We'll see if you look at Kim Kardashian selling an appetite-suppressing lollipop. If you click on the link and you purchase it, and then that algorithm will give you more of that content. If you feel pressure to be a really high performer and achiever, school results, university results, job promotions and lifestyles are plastered all over Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and again are available 24 hours of the day. Even when you exercise, every single time you move, you can be alerted by your watch about your calorie burn, your friend's calorie burn, and you can also now track to the calorie or gram of fat what you eat in a day in an app. And this can be healthy, or it can be addictive and it can be dangerous. And currently there are no warnings or safety measures embedded in our tech. On a much more positive note, technology is hugely increasing access to mental health care. We've seen a massive influx of online resources, support groups and counselling that supplement traditional therapy. With more online, less people need to travel, so costs go down and geographical barriers go down. It's even been said that when we use online options for groups traditionally less likely to take up mental health care, such as men, young people, minority ethnic groups and people from the military, that stigma has gone down. However, with all of this, I need to draw your attention to the problem. There are 6.6 million Tinder users globally, 100 million Apple Watch wearers, 206 million people on Twitter. There are 406 million people following Kim Kardashian on Instagram, and there are 774 million people on LinkedIn. Is anybody, online or here today, able to identify that edited logo? That is the logo for the UK's eating disorder charity. They are there to support the millions of people suffering, and I'm sure that most of you have never even heard of them. And this is our problem. We have huge, globally recognised brands and millions made from tech that is contributing to our mental health crisis, and yet there is a gaping hole where there should be big equivalent brands pouring solutions in to solve this problem. Atos. This is where we come in. Oh, sorry. Trigger happy. We're a huge global company. We invest over 235 million euros in research and development every single year. If we were to throw our hat in the ring, in just the UK alone, we could support and potentially even cure the mental health of over 16.6 million people per year. This is a David versus Goliath problem, and we have the ability to even out that scale. So let's talk solutions. First, let's get governance and warnings embedded into tech. For instance, influencers in Norway who do not clearly state that they have edited sponsored content can be fined or imprisoned due to a new law. In the UK, we're looking at legislation, but it's slow and it's nowhere near as strict. So let's take that to Cabinet Office. We've seen pilots where patients suffer from PTSD can use augmented reality headsets in therapy to test out triggering scenarios. There are so many possibilities to adapt this for so many mental health conditions. For example, someone with an eating disorder could test out a restaurant visit or an observed change in their weight. Atos have Atos Air headsets. We can provide this solution. The possibilities are then endless if you consider artificial intelligence and machine learning. We can work with universities and research hospitals, and we can get machine learning to mine through their data to uncover new causes, signs, or triggers of a mental health condition. We can work with GPs and hospitals and get artificial intelligence to filter through their prior medical records to uncover patterns or indicators of mental health conditions in their patients. We could also embed artificial intelligence across various devices, like our phones and our wearable tech. We then could create a baseline of behaviour of how we interact with that technology. So this could be the text that you send, the calls you take, even the filters on your photos. Then, if we observe a change in this behaviour, this could indicate a change in our mental health. We could get earlier warning signs to people to go and seek help, or this could be supplementary insight used in therapy. Atos have machine learning and artificial intelligence expertise, so we also can provide this. There is so much potential for the current technology that we already have to achieve so much more. So for those of you interested in finding out more about eating disorders, the UK's eating disorder charity is called BEAT, and they have fantastic resources. At Atos, we have mental health first aiders, and part of their training covers eating disorders. We also have access to mental health experts on our wellbeing hub, and that includes eating disorder specialists. I have shown you that mental health is an urgent, growing crisis. It's currently affecting over 16.6 million people per year in just the UK alone. People like Nikki Graham are dying because they are unable to get the help that they need, and eating disorders is just one of many mental health conditions facing this problem. Technology and huge globally recognised brands are contributing to the mental health crisis, and yet our current technology peers are far outgunned in their reach and their ability to support the tidal wave of people needing it. Can you imagine the impact that we would have if we put the same focus on mental health technology that we do on something like decarbonisation? And yes, decarbonisation is fantastic for our planet. It's also set to be a £500 million revenue stream for Atos. Mental health is equally, if not far more important, and as far and wide-reaching an issue. This should absolutely be our next growth area and market differentiator. This isn't just the right thing for us to do for society. This is the right thing for us to do as a business. It's the right thing for our current and our future employees, and it's the right thing for our customers. So why wait? I want all of you to speak to your customers tomorrow. I want you to talk to them about mental health and show them the huge positive impact of them having a healthier and happier workforce, and how our technology can help. Let's drive mental health technology, starting now. Thank you.